Hello, everybody. I hope you all are doing well. Welcome to back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. I ate some food, drank some water, and I'm ready to get back into this. Alright, so if I remember last time, she said there were 4 books, but according to this picture, there's only 3 books. I feel like I could either present this or the secondhand book receipt. I don't know which one for sure, but let's present the receipt. Maybe this is one would be good because it clearly shows that we're 3 books.
Objection!
Oh, the music stopped. That means we got it right. So, you're saying that there were 4 books. That's right. I remember them all. The picture I'm gonna show you somebody, what's it yearnings, and a meal for somebody, and the thingy means something. Yeah, I didn't catch that the first time. I'm sorry, Mrs. B. But there is a fundamental flaw in the statement of yours. Oh no, what flaw? Simply that at the scene of the crime, there were only 3 books, not 4. What? This is the receipt from the bookshop where the defendant bought his books. Your books? Yes, and it detailed Mr. Natsume's purchase that day. But as you can see, only 3 books are listed. Only 3? But no, that can't be. I remember seeing them. There were 4 books, I tell you. 4 dirty old books. Oh, really? Have a good look at this photographic print of the scene of the crime. As you can clearly see from this evidence as well, there are only 3 books. Alright, so I think we could have chosen one or the other. But I just don't believe it. I saw them there. I swear it, I saw them. No, madam. I'm afraid your powers of observation cannot be relied upon. So it cannot be denied that though you say it was the defendant you saw, you could very well be mistaken. Oh, no.
Objection!
Yes, they were 4 books. Is that what he's gonna say? It's plainly evidence that it is your powers of deduction that can't not be relied upon, my learned Nipponese friend. What? There's one in the bag, isn't there? What cannot be denied is that these 2 witnesses saw the accused running from the scene. A fact that you know very well you have no hope of disproving. So you've striven to avert attention from that by dint of some inconsequential discrepancy. Would that be fair? He sees right through me. But your plan has somewhat recoiled against you. What are you talking about? It's quite simple. Let me explain with a toast. To the policeman's wife and her entirely accurate testimony in every respect. Oh. You see, the matter is not up for debate. At the scene of Briar Road, a total of 4 books were most definitely found. But what about the photographic print? It only shows 3 books. Quite right, only 3 can be seen in that print. There's another one then. You mean to say... Allow me to present another that shows the victim's hand. Wait, so she's the one... So she has her own... Those were her books then, right? What does it say? The Lion's Pride. I don't believe it. It's the 4th book. As you will observe, the 4th book was hidden from view in the original print by the victim's torso. You know, this game makes us do so much work to find the plot, the hole in a testimony, just for us to get immediately shut down. Order! There, you see, you look at it. Look. Yes. It's just like I said, isn't it, my darling? Yes, sir. Patricia's always right, sir. Let us study the receipt for the books purchased by the accused on the day in question. Mrs. Beetle, the titles once again, if you please. Oh yes, of course. The picture of Monsieur somebody or the other. The picture of Monsieur Lecoq. What's it yearning? Canterbury yearnings. A meal for someone. A meal for Gabriel, in fact. As the court has just heard, the witness remembers the book's titles flawlessly. Mrs. Beat's powers of recollection can only be described as exceptional. Did you hear that, Rolly? The gentleman paid me a compliment. Yes, sir. Flawless, sir. Patricia is flawless. But, there are only 3 books on receipt. Mrs. Beat mentioned 4. There's nothing surprising about that. Clearly, the 4th book is in which shown in the photographic print. I'm sorry, counsel, but does that not seem odd? Why would the 4th book not be omitted from the receipt? It's not odd at all, my lord. As the photograph clearly shows, the 4th book was found in the victim's clutches. In other words, it belongs to the victim. The victim was holding her own book? I wonder, what became of that 4th book? Obviously, it wasn't overlooked by the investigation. Officers at Scotland Yard, I have it here as evidence. Good, we can take a look at the book then. You will submit that book, that and the aforementioned photographic print to the court, please? My pleasure, my lord. Alright, let's take a look at this photograph. Oh, and the book too. The prosecution rests. Alright, so we now have a second photograph. It's called The Lion's Pride. Alright, there's nothing really going to show us of that. We know there's a burned, torn bookmark on the book for some reason. Alright, so here's the book. Same one. It also got burnt. That's interesting. How did this get burnt? Oh, look at this. The book has been badly burnt. You're right. You'd never be able to read it at this stage, especially not the latter. What a terrible waste. Judging from the scorched edges of the paper, I think damage must have occurred very recently. A book recently damaged by fire. Why does that raise a red flag? A book entitled The Lion's Pride is discovered to have been burnt badly. Well, who is this woman? Alright, so The Lion's Pride. Unless she's like their daughter, then they didn't know. Let me see, it's entitled The Lion's Pride. I'm afraid I don't know any English literature at all, so it would be something I've heard. Wait a minute. The Lion's Pride. That's strange. I think I have heard of a book by that name before, and very recently too. It's a title I recognize too, Mr. Naruto. Wow, so investigating the old couple actually paid off. Alright. I think that's all we have. Time to proceed on. I have nothing further to add. What? You seem surprised, my learned friend. But your resistance until now has been in vain. Entertaining, yes, but futile. The spurious Longer wrote to the accuser's lodging that you have tried to establish in this summation examination and the attempt discrediting of the witness's powers of recollection and your cross-examination. Futile. I walked right into this one, didn't I? You see, everything we said is true. Isn't that right, my darling? Yes, Pat. Marry me, Pat. So perhaps the ladies and gentlemen of the jury would like to reconsider their positions. Should the court waste any more time on these Nepalese travesty? Or is a decision you have to make all too apparent already? Oh, I don't think I can change the sides again. But what do we have? You have heard all of the witnesses and seen all the evidence. This trial has run its course. Mr. Naruto, I'm afraid we are in a terrible precarious position. I know, but if I fight back in the wrong way now, it could very well make things worse. Think, Ryunosuke, think. What do you do now? Oh, well, I don't know. Let me save. So far, we've always raised an objection, and so far that's always been the right thing to do. But what if it's not the right thing to do now? See, the first option is raise an objection. I think let's wait and see. I should just keep quiet now and see what happens. Well, it appears the defense has no objections at all to this juncture. In which case... Oh, okay, well, I'm supposed to. Whoops! I don't know. I felt like that was a trick question to me. Let's just go back. I don't want to waste time. Let's go back. Not waste time. Watch. I go back, and it's actually the wrong choice.
Objection!
Watch this be the wrong choice. I'm not done yet. No, my learned friend, it is over. That last cross-examination was your final chance to establish a credible defense, and you failed. The die has been cast, and there is no more room for debate. Well, it might be over as far as you're concerned, but... I can't think of what to say. If I may, Lord Van Zeeks, seems somewhat boorish to close down the debate at this point. Your insignificant little Eastern Isle must be a lawless hole indeed. For a lowly judicial assistant to have the audacity to intervene at a moment like this. Oh. Don't talk to her that way. I am, to my shame, still a very inexperienced lawyer. You will have to forgive me, but I consider my assistant advice essential and her opinions invaluable. Mr. Naruto. One of this land's great guiding principles is tolerance. So the court will hear you, madam. Go ahead, Mr. Sato, please. Very well. Pray, what insight can you give us? What have we all overlooked in this matter that you see fit to pursue? Well, the court has been presented with new evidence, but only after the last cross-examination finished. I see. And you believe that this new evidence warrants further examination, do you? Mr. Naruto, what do you think? It's just possible that this new evidence might be the decisive proof we've been waiting for. The judge is sure to ask the members of the jury to announce their leanings in a moment. And of course, he's sure to ask you to explain what the crucial part of this evidence is and why. So we must take the opportunity to examine the newly presented evidence as thoroughly as possible. Yes, I understand. And thank you, Mr. Sato. This is it. So Sato-san has managed to win us one last chance here. I can't let it go to waste. The defense wishes to present evidence, my lord. Very well. The defense may present one further piece of evidence. Evidence that apparently offers a profound insight into this case and has hitherto been overlooked. Alright, well, the only new piece of evidence I got really is this book, so this is our best chance.
Take that!
The evidence in question is what we can see from the newly presented photographic print of the crime scene. The fourth book found in the victim's hand.
Objection!
We have already discussed the fourth book at length. Other than it being the victim's grasp at the time of the incident, no significance has been attached to it. Pursuing the matter further would be a flagrant waste of time, as you well know. Yes, I'm afraid, counsel, I must when I afforded you this opportunity, you led to the court believe that the evidence in question contained a hitherto undiscovered clue. So I must insist that you elaborate, counsel. You will identify the clue at once. Do I make myself clear? Oh, yes, my lord. It's Mr. Naruto. I believe the prosecution is trying to avoid a thorough examination of the evidence, which means you may very well be on the right track. Yes, I think you might be right. So, counsel, precisely where the vital clue in the case, which this fourth book conceals. Can I open the book? I haven't tried opening the book. No, I can't open the book. I mean, the only thing that really stands out is this. Burnt mark.
Got it!
Got it! I would ask the court to observe the back of the book in question. The back? What do you... Good gracious! It's been burnt to a crisp. So we have to ask ourselves, why was the victim clutching what is clearly an unreadable book? It is undeniably an extremely unnatural thing for it to do.
Objection!
I just noticed the scarves are like attached to each other. Gosh. Unnatural, you say? What of it, my Nipponese friend? Oh, well, I do concede the point. If it bears no relation to the case, there's nothing to discuss. So should you wish to assert that this fire damage is some veiled clue as to what happened that day? Right. Do enlighten us. What truth does this charred book hide? A charred book. There's just one possibility here, which I can't quite bring myself to rule out. It's an outside chance, certainly, but it's worth a try. Alright, I'll explain my theory. Don't keep us waiting any longer, Counsel. Explain this theory of yours. What are you suggesting that can discern from the fire damage this sorry Toma suffered? The shop that sold it? No. I think we can say the owner. My lord, the burn on the back of this book reveals a startling truth about the book's owner. I beg your pardon? But we already know who the book belongs to. The victim was gripping it in her hand as she fell to the floor. After all, it's obviously hers. The question of how this book came to be in the victim's hand is yet to be answered. However, as to the questions of who the book really belongs to and where it originated, the defense has very credible answers. Good gracious, how can you possibly know? Very well, I'll play along with this futile attempt to delay your inevitable demise. But do remember, the members of the jury may well burn you if you gamble goes aware. Counsel, the defense response here is very likely to influence the final outcome of this trial. So tell the court, who do you claim this owner of the book belongs to? Well, it should be this guy, right? Either one of these two. Well, let's say it is John Garadeb.
Take that!
Ah, got it right. The answer is that the book belongs to the couple who own the house where the defendant has his lodgings. A certain Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb, the landlords. And whether this is some extraordinary coincidence or some kind of fate at work, I don't know, but of all the people in London, one of the 6 chosen for jury duty in this courtroom today is none other than Mrs. Garadeb herself. Oh my goodness me! I think you must have been mistaken, sir. I'm not Mr. Garadeb's wife, I'm his maid. Things would be so much easier if you would just drop the pretense. Okay then, I have a simple question for you. Have you ever seen this book in Mr. Garadeb's house? I would never presume to know all the books he keeps, sir.
Objection!
This is outlandish behavior. This woman is the accused lady, you say? You implicate this hardworking member of the public. You besmirched her without a shred of evidence. Your actions are unforgivable.
Objection!
This is not a mere conjecture. The defense happens to know that on the day in question, at almost exactly the same time as the victim was stabbed on the pavement below, another incident was taking place in the room on the top floor of Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb's house. Good lord, what sort of incident, counsel? A fire, my lord. Right to say it happened in the blink of an eye, you know? The whole place filled with smoke. Couldn't see a body thing. It didn't take long for the fire to spread, of course, and the body flames are still going up as well. Worst of it is, I lost my favorite book called The Lion's Pride. The Lion's Pride? By Jove, the very same title that is subject to this debate. Oh, dear me.
Objection!
This is risible. All you have told the court is that a book by the same name was involved in a fire, in which case it would be reasonable to assume that it was burnt to ashes. And entirely unreasonable to infer that it magically removed itself from the scene of the crime. Perhaps it would make more sense if I told you that the cause of the fire was marital discord. Without going into details, it appears that Mr. and Mrs. Gerardib was considerably enraged. Apparently, she continued to attack Mr. Gerardib even amid the flames. Oh, how awful! I can't even imagine to be so horrid to the one you love, can you, Rolly? Absolutely not, sir. My Patricia would never raise a finger against me, sir. I didn't expect this to happen, though. I know my favorite old novels in that. Yes, but as soon as the fire got a hold of them, that was it. Whoosh! I've been smoked. And then the wife started hurling things at me. There was I, backed up against the window, under heavy enemy fire, incendiary books coming tens of dozens. The man had his back against the window and he had burning books thrown at him. Goodness gracious, are you suggesting that the book was thrown through the window and landed coincidentally at the scene of the crime? No, a thorough investigation of the surrounding area was conducted the very evening of the incident, and there's no report of the Gerardib's window pane being broken. That's quite true. We also saw no sign of broken glass when we visited the Gerardib's house. It is not conceivable that the window was open at the time. Not even remotely. Let us not forget the season and the chilling weather that accompanies it. No Londoner would ever leave a window open in the middle of winter. I mean, there's smoke everywhere. He had to get the smoke out somehow. Does the defense postulate the scene in all serious counsel? Do you honestly claim that the book found in the scene was a flaming projectile thrown by Mrs. Gerardib's wife? I believe it is a possibility, my lord. That's quite enough. Wait, who said that? Oh, she did. Well, I hope that everyone can see for what you are now, you little foreign trickster. You call yourself a lawyer, but you're just a coward. A mean coward. Really? Claiming that our little type set the whole neighborhood alight, honestly. Implying that I'm merely posing as a maid for appearance's sake? How could you? It's nothing to do with the beastly case. Not any of it. All you've done is sully our family's name. No, I assure you that was never my intention. Dragging an upstanding citizen through the mud simply to divert attention from your failing defense. I should box your ears. That's what I should do. It's utterly unforgivable. Too right. Here we go. How long have we sat here now listening to the nippity spouting out his fancy foreign theories? But think about it. At the end of the day, the only person who could have possibly have stabbed the victim is that little hunchback with a mustache, and we ran away from the scene too. I do declare you're right. It's true. Yes, what did I tell you? Makes sense to me. Oh, sorry. What was that? Well, it would appear that the ladies and gentlemen of the jury are once again in full agreement. What is your position, Lord Van Zeeks? Oh, this is going hard for us. In truth, my lord, I feel these have been unnecessarily protracted proceedings. But then one must always exercise patience in order to savor the best vintage. No, wait. The mystery of the fourth book still hasn't been... If the book are your predictions of my learned friend, study them on your own time. Oh. What? No, forgive the discourtesy this time. In that case, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will now state your individual decisions regarding the defendant's culpability for the court to hear.
Guilty!
Guilty.
Guilty!
Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty!
I love how most of the voices I did for the jury were all wrong. The only solid one I had was the old man. Thank you for your unambiguous response. That's twice now. It's over. Mr. Naruto, don't give up. Mr. Sato, have you forgotten? This battle isn't over yet. You're not suggesting. Of course, the defense has the right to another summation examination. Oh my god. There has to be a limit of how many I can do. So you can still convince the jurors to change their minds. You have one more chance. My lord, the defense asks to exercise its right to a summation examination. You believe you still have tricks up your sleeve? I don't intend to trick anybody. I intend to uncover the truth. There's no time to be downcast. As long as there's a chance, I have to stay strong and determined. Oh, and that's where we're gonna end another part here, is it? Another summation examination. Just how many are we gonna do in one trial? How many are we allowed to do, really? Alright guys, this is where we're gonna end this part here. I'm gonna save my progress. So, thank you all so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, share, or subscribe. And until then, I will see you all later. Goodbye.